Solution on how to stop cheating. Wednesday afternoon, I pick up my kids from school. It's like the lines at Disneyland. Just when you think you're getting close to the school, they wind you around another building. Slowly moving forward, I eventually get to the beginning of the line and find Dustin and Sarah waiting for me. Now that they are 13 and 14, I am not allowed to show any affection. Ugh! Disgusting, Dad. What if my friends see you doing that? Yes, they've reached the age where I work as a chauffeur, ATM, and food bank. I pick up the phone on Wednesdays because Hannah has a weekly project review. She leads the development team at the interior design company where she works. They build high-end office spaces and mansions. As part of a national organization, they make sure every project is special. There's nothing worse than seeing something you paid generously for appear in someone's corporate public relations press release. Needless to say, I was surprised to see Hannah's sedan in the driveway. Maybe she left something behind that she needed. Otherwise, why wouldn't she have pulled into the garage? After parking in my part of the garage, the kids jumped out and attacked the refrigerator. "Hey, easy guys, save room for dinner!" Setting my briefcase on the floor, I walked into the living room and found Hannah curled up on the couch, covered with a blanket. It was a warm day, and the house was definitely not cold. "Hey, baby, what's going on?" "I don't feel so good. My stomach is doing somersaults and I'm having trouble." "What do you think it is?" "Must be some kind of flu." "Okay, so why aren't you in bed?" "I was, but I was in a car accident. Could you please change the sheets?" Taking 2 steps into the bedroom, I realized what had happened to her. I went out to the garage and grabbed a clip to put on my nose and latex gloves. At least all of our beds have waterproof mattress covers. Old habit. When the kids were little, they would climb into bed and sometimes have accidents. Now we're prepared, but they'll only crawl into our bed when they're worse than the dog. I wasn't going to make dinner after this ordeal, so I ordered pizza and took a shower after emptying a can of air freshener. I sure as hell hope I don't get what Hannah is struggling with. After a week of agony and cleaning, Hannah made an appointment with our family doctor. It was largely a waste of time. Predictable answers. Probably the flu. Give it some more time. See you in a week if it doesn't go away. So 2 weeks later, Hannah went to the doctor again. She had lost a few pounds since she hadn't been eating for fear it would come out the other end. Energy drinks were her cuisine. The doctor ran some blood work, but nothing was far enough out of range to warrant any further action. Over the next few weeks, Hannah learned to live with it. She felt like crap, pun intended, and was dressed in adult diapers and baggy pants to hide that fact. It was up to me to pick up the groceries. No, I didn't use the list. It was easier to pay the full fare and have Hannah place the online orders. While the kids and I wanted something to do on the weekend, Hannah never felt up to it. We did some things without her. Our personal lives took a big hit. That's not surprising. Who wants to do the dirty deeds when you risk even dirtier ones? 2 months later, Hannah went to a specialist. Of course, the day before and the day of the appointment, she felt fine. They did blood tests until our insurance deductible was paid. Kiss those $5,000 goodbye. Her intestines showed some elevated levels of unknown enzymes. Made sense, but it wasn't explained why. Probably Crohn's disease, but tests for that came back negative. She was given the oh-so-popular "keep an eye on it." One night I jokingly asked, "Do you think I make you sick?" "How can you say that? You've been great at taking care of me since this started. I'm so tired of fighting this. I wish they'd find something, anything." Hannah's new life was the life of a recluse. She worked hard at home and rarely went out. Her weight dropped another 20 pounds. Every once in a while she felt better, but that only lasted until the weekend. The kids were so busy with their sports schedules that they really didn't notice how infrequently Hannah attended their games. Time went on its own. Hannah wasn't sick enough to miss work, but she was slowly losing her team. Management demoted her. Months turned into years. Hannah felt guilty that we weren't having sex, so she took one about once a week. It was better than nothing. After Dustin turned 16, it became hell on wheels. I no longer had to worry about getting him and Sarah to and from school. Now I had to worry about why they weren't home. At least Hannah was trying to help. She rarely felt 100%, but she had learned to live with it. For a while, Hannah seemed to get over her bowel problems, but that only lasted about 6 months. When the problems came back, it was just as bad as before. Hannah cried a lot. Her life went on as usual. Dustin had graduated from high school and was going to college. Sarah graduated early and was out the door as well. The day after Sarah graduated from high school, I cornered Hannah. "We need to talk." "Okay. What's up?" I filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. The stunned look turned to full-blown rage. "You cheated on me! How could you do this to me?" "The kids are grown and it's time for me to move on." "How can you leave now? I know the last 5 years have been hard, but I never stopped loving you. What have I done to deserve that?" "Dennis Wilson!" Hannah's eyes widened. Try as she might, she couldn't hold back the tears. "Did you know?" "That's a stupid question. I was just biding my time until the kids went off to college. It was cheaper to support you while they lived at home. I hope it was worth it." "But John, that was years ago. We're past that. I'm sorry, I was wrong and I shouldn't have done it." Cry me a river of tears. Wrong or not, you did it and you felt no remorse. Hell, you even contacted him again when you felt better. As soon as I moved out, Hannah instantly perked up. She was no longer suffering from bowel problems. I was really making her nauseous. We sold the house and split the profits. I thought I could avoid counseling, but that was not the case. The outcome remained the same. I'd rather take a chance on a new search than continue with a known cheater. When I found out about Hannah having an affair with Dennis Wilson, I was devastated. I had stumbled across Hannah's secret email account, so I installed a program on my phone to keep track of her activities. You spend your life devoted to your partner and find that you are not enough for her. The obsession with scorching the earth receded into the background when my lawyer laid out how bleak my future life would be. Penniless, while Hannah would be able to put her lover in a house. The very house we'd bought together, but which I'd spent all my spare time rebuilding. It's cheaper to keep her. Wait until the kids are out of the house. The lawyer had gotten it into my head that Hannah could file for divorce at any time, and my fate would be quite bad. It was enough, to the point where I considered fleeing the country. In the end, I did everything I could to remain her husband. I stayed, and my kids became my life, counting down the days. It was while searching the internet that I found a first April Fool's joke. Mixing 2 over-the-counter liquid veterinary medications can cause intestinal upset, so I bought and stored a large bottle of each in my garage and got a package of syringes from China. Using said syringes, I injected the mixture into Hannah's coffee supplies. She loves the blueberry and hazelnut mixture. The kids didn't drink coffee, and I hated the mix. The first few days, Hannah didn't complain at all until I increased the dosage of the mix. That's why that first Wednesday was so hard on her. I was clearly overdoing it. Sure, I used too much early on, but eventually found a middle ground. It was enough to make her feel bad, but not bad enough to send her to the doctor. It was funny how her friends, after drinking a cup of tainted coffee together, would then get the flu. Friendly fire. I found that she repeatedly turned Dennis down. No, not because she didn't want him. She just didn't feel ready for him. Eventually, he gave in. A few years later, I thought Hannah's romance was dead and buried. That's when I cut back on the medication. Though not completely, as I was still in revenge mode. But then Hannah reached for it again. I increased the dosage, and Hannah relapsed. A week later, she went to the specialist again. The day before and the day of her appointment, I made sure Hannah used conditioned coffee. Although she claimed she was devastated and unprepared for my divorce filing, I was not moved by her tears. It wasn't until I gave her the investigator's report from 5 years ago that she realized how serious I was. Dennis's wife got a copy and named Hannah in her divorce petition. I made sure all of Hannah's friends and family got copies, which caused my phone to stop ringing. I was no longer the uncaring, heartless asshole who abandoned a hopelessly ill Hannah in her time of need. Dennis had been hit hard in the divorce. Now he eats ramen noodles and drinks water while his ex-wife entertains his replacement. I find this sufficient revenge. As much as I'd like Hannah to know how I did it, I fear I may have crossed some legal boundaries. So I smirk a lot. Will I get married again? Probably not. Maybe. Who knows? I can't even enjoy dating without fearing the heartbreaking pain Hannah has caused me. Time heals is my last hope. The end!